Okay, a very good afternoon. In last session, we were discussing on like what is a EFI amendments. Now today we are focus on like what are the amendment in ES Act, Employee State Insurance Act 1948. So this is very important that though this particular act, Advait and Vaishnavi, are you able to hear me? Vaishnavi, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
So these are certain amendments today which we are discussing under this particular act ESI 1948. Now, before starting with the what are the amendments, let me know one query like why there is a need to change or require to amend the certain laws or certain acts. Why it is necessary to change? Advait, can't we continue what we had decided earlier when we are framing this any law initially? So we can continuously we can use the same law. But if you just go through the any law, there is you always observe over a period of time there is always a certain changes or amendments. Why? Are you getting my question? Okay. Before I know that nobody will try. So what happened whenever the any laws or this formality for the maybe the government are framing for, it is a for the benefit of the employee only. Whenever suppose even you just go through the your Indian constitution, whatever the laws in that, whatever the acts, fundamental rights, it is only for the benefit of the employee or the citizens. Okay, but what happened because of the period over a period of time, the conceptually it remains same, but when we are trying to implement in a current scenario, maybe particular it would not be due to a certain external factor, maybe your economic losses, maybe any other political pressure, it is not implementable. Okay, so these are a certain reason we need to identify the implication part. And suppose we are trying to implement same law, the what is the objective of that ESI Act, whatever any law, we can't achieve the objectives. Okay, so for that, because the objective is very well focused towards the employee benefit, whatever the laws we are discussing from last 2 months. So here it is very important then to identify what are the amendments from 1948 to till date. Okay. Now we already finished with like how ESA contribution is calculated. It is from the contribution from both the party, whereas employee there is a portion which is contributed from the employee and the employer. And what is the difference between the EPF and the ESI? In Employee Provident Fund, the contribution which we are calculated on your basic salary plus the DA, that is a dearness allowances. Whereas in ESI, we are calculating the contribution, the portion of your salary which is to be deposited in ESI account. It is, we are calculated on the gross monthly salary. Now, what is meant by gross monthly salary? It is a salary after the deduction, because there are a certain deduction, and we are deducting, means the employer, they are deducting certain money from your net salary, and the net salary minus certain deduction, which is a gross salary. So gross salary is described as the total income earned by the employee while working in their job before any deductions are made for the health insurance, social security, and the state and the federal taxes. So it is very important that you are calculating your ESI on the gross salary and not on the net salary. Okay, or whatever you are having in your cash or in hand. Now, these are certain new rules suggested by ESI contribution against employee has to be deposited within a 42 days from the end of the month of their ESI contribution. Now, earlier, this is the latest. Now, earlier what happened? The time slab, it's like a 30 days. Now, because many organizations, they are not able to pay on a time, so they have given a wide range. More than 1 month period of a time they have given to contribute against this ESI, 42 days, like 1 month and 12 days near about. Okay. So the employer shall not be able to deposit the employee's ESI contribution after 42 days and shall have to bear the penalty of rupees 10,000. Okay. Suppose the employer not able to deposit the money, they have given a time slab, they have given enough time to contribute against this ESI account. If the employer, because employer on behalf of an employee, they are contributing in this account. If they fail to contribute, they need to bear the penalty of rupees 10,000 to the government. Okay. So it is very, very important that you need to deposit the money within this specified period of time. Now, these are the certain 5 recent amendments in ESI Act 1948, which we are discussing today. Evidently, the provisions of the Employees State Insurance Act 1948 provide for financial assistance to workers. Now, the objective of this both act is a social security of an employee after the retirement. Okay. Now, here, social security in case of a financial security. So, such assistance is accessible to the workers of an organization having ESI registration in case of certain health-related issue that the workers might face, such as there is a slight difference between the Employee Provident Fund and the ESI Act. Now, in ESI Act, there are a major 6 benefits which we already covered, like your maternity benefit hai, then आपका illness, sickness benefit hai, your funeral expenses is bear by the under the ESI Act, then the dependent benefit hai. So these are a certain benefit which come under the ESI Act. Okay. Now, this is certain health related issue that the workers might face. These are the certain maternity leaves, acute or chronic disablement, occupational injury or alignment, sudden demise while at the job. So these are a certain critical phase which come in the life of any employee. So again, this happened with the employee, it is covered under the ESI Act. Often such issue impact the immediate loss of wages and resultantly financial crisis with that employee, and same happen with the family member also. Certain social security benefit under the ESI Act intended to balance or nullify the subsequent physical or monetary loss in such of mishappenings. Recently, the government has amended the ESI Act 1948 and has introduced certain new provision for workers and the employees. These new provisions are made effective from 1st October 19. It just 1 year before they have done such amendments. Okay. Today it's 14 October. So we are, these amendments is effective from 1st October 2019. It is a last year amendments. Okay. Now, in that, these are 5 recent amendment in ESI Act. First is like a compulsory ESI registration of employees. As per the new provision, the employees of the organized sector are now compulsorily required to obtain employees registration online with the 10 days from the date of their appointment. Henceforth, the this ESIC online portal shall now allow maximum 10 days only to the employers for providing ESI registration to their new joinee. Now, suppose your senior, they are supposed to join any organization. Now, it is compulsory for employers to, because they already have the unique password under this, because it is a lump sum, they are registering their organization under this scheme. Now, it is a duty of the employer while they are appointing a new employee in the organization, they must register this new employee within a 10 days from their appointment. Now, it is a compulsion on an employer. If they are not doing this, it means in this case also they need to pay certain penalty. Okay. So for a new joinee, they have given only a 10 days time. So automatically, because it is an online process, there are a certain documentation with verified online verification, and then they give this employee state insurance corporation, they are giving a unique code or unique identification number to the each employee, where they can use for their personal use. Okay, so this is very simple process. Even maybe I'm trying to have a demo of this how to register under this EPF and ESI Act. The second amendment is like compulsory ESI registration card. Now, another new provision of ESI Act state that the employees who have already obtained the ESIC registration will now have to collect their biometric scan ESI registration permanent card from the nearest ESIC branch office. The employees are now required to provide the ESI registration card to all their employees, which will serve as the evidence of ESI registration. Now, what happened? Whenever you are visiting any nearby, what we can say, the dispensary, and to just avail the benefit under this scheme. Okay, so there was, you need to provide some cards that was earlier issued by the this corporation only, State Insurance Act Corporation. But now, because the processes are already they started online, so it is a duty of an employer to register their employee under this act, and then this particular department, they are providing this registration card. You need to take a printout of that, and biometric scan card hai, you need to carry when you want to avail the any benefit under this. We have a 6 benefit. Out of that, any organ, any employee, according to his need or emergency, they can just go for any to encash the benefit of this scheme. So during this, they need to show this ESI registration permanent card to the maybe from here they want to take the services. There are a certain dispensaries and many locations available where you can visit and you can take a benefit of this scheme. Timely deposit of ESI contribution. As per the ESI Act, a certain contribution has to be deposited against employees as well as the employers within the due date. Now, the new rule suggests that ESI contribution against employees has to be deposited within 42 days from the end of the month of ESI contribution, and the employer shall not be able to deposit the employer's contribution after 45 days in case they need to bear a penalty of rupees 10,000. So this is the third amendment. So first is like they need to register, timestamp given only 10 days. Second is they need to apply for the card, ESI card, where by showing this card, they can go for to take the benefit of this scheme. Third is timely deposit of a ESI contribution, where the duration is given only 42 days. And within that time duration, you need to contribute your means employer, they need to contribute the whatever the contribution from both the party to this account. Okay, so this is the third amendment. Now fourth is threshold limit for employees ESI contribution. Another new provision has now introduced a threshold limit for employees ESI contribution. Now accordingly, the employee's salary is rupees per day, that is 176 or less than, need not to pay ESI contribution. So their share of ESI contribution shall be borne by the government. So it is very, it is a good news for the employee who are having the salary less than 176 rupees per day. Okay. Now suppose just can you do a certain calculation, like suppose 175, 76 rupees per day per month, what will be the salary? Advait or Vaishnavi, can you do a fast calculation? Suppose per day 176 rupees, monthly kitna hoga? Monthly salary. Yes, Vaishnavi, Advait.
Will be 5,280 rupees.
Okay, so it's comparatively very less.
Yes, ma'am.
So for that's why, because then these people will become under the class 4 category. Okay, so that's why the government, they are taking a care of such type of an employee or a worker where the salary is very less. Okay, and in the economic crisis they will not able to their daily basic needs जो है उसको भी they are not able to fulfill the requirement of their family members and all. So that's why this contribution, the share of ESI contribution shall be borne by the government. So it is very good aspects from the government side that for the ESI contribution, employee का जो contribution होता है, it is given by government, whereas the employer, they are contributing on behalf of this employee. Okay, so that is a plus or positive. And again, can we say that this is one of the retention strategy for these wage earner or salarized people who are having a very less salary? So this is one way. In a monetary term, they are retaining to their employee. Okay, so but it is compulsory for them to register all your employee and the worker under the scheme. Okay, if they are not doing this, it means the government will not contribute their portion. That's why it is compulsory. Even if it's employer is not doing this registration process for yourself, it is your right to ask the employer to just do all the online formality for my membership under the scheme, ESI scheme. So this is your duty. If the company is not, and what happened, this is a duty of this manager level employee, where because the people who are working at a class 4, they are not aware about such a benefit which is for their future benefit or their family benefit is given by the government under certain various laws, under the labor law. These people not aware about it. So it is a duty of a manager to do all this needful just to provide the benefit, because through these are the certain benefit which is compulsory and is governed by the government. Okay, so and for it is for their future provision. So it is very, very important for the managerial level employees. So introduce this certain act to the employee. Now this is the last 5 special ESI registration program. The government, with a view to widening the ESI social security coverage to a more individuals, has also begun an initiative for ESI registration. Within this program, special ESI registration will be conducted of the employers as well as the employees from December 2016 to June 2017. This was the amendments in last 5 years. Moreover, the coverage of ESI scheme shall be extended to all the districts of India, but in a phased manner. Okay. Now, initially, just I said that like ESI Act, when it is implemented, means it is framed, it is implemented first in Delhi and Kanpur. That was the testing period where they have started only 6 dispensary where the employee they can visit and avail the benefit under the scheme. And then slowly they started introducing this norm, this particular law in all over the India, all the district of the India. Parallelly, they have opened small dispensary where the employee they can visit and take a benefit under the medical and the illness benefit which cover under the scheme. Okay, they have their separate clinic, or what you can say, the dispensary. And next is like, suppose the simple provision is like the government, with the view of widening the social security, they have given the program ESI registration will be conducted of the employers as well as the employee from December 2016 to the coverage of ESI scheme shall be extended to all districts of India, but in a phased manner. So this it is online registration is important aspects where it is compulsion on both the party, like employee and employer, to do all the formality to register yourself. If you don't have this documentation, you need to provide the proof of authentic documentation, maybe a iCard, residential proof, or maybe your birth certificates, so that they can provide a benefit according to even the dependent on in family member, how many dependents on you. So you need to provide all the details so that on a time in emergency, you can get the benefit under this scheme. Now, along these lines, the government has planned to enhance the coverage of the ESI scheme to provide a financial assistance to more and more employees of the organized sector in the India. Now, what happened? It is a negative aspects. I can say that in India, comparing the organized sector nowadays, more unorganized sector are coming. Here, they because of a need of an employment, the any skilled person or physically having the person who are having the physical state, they are joining the organization or the company without considering that whether it is registered or not. So many times these companies are a fake company, fake industries, and here they are working for a longer duration, and then they finally realize that the company, they have not registered themselves under any norm. Okay, so it is a cheating with the employee. And where suppose the company is not registered, will they get the benefit under the scheme? Not in the ESI and not in the EPF scheme, because the compulsion on the government, the company is that, like prior to this avail the benefit to the employee, they need to register themselves under the specific norm. So if there are many small industry or some what we can say, the company who are having the seasonal product, you know, just every Diwali is coming and then having a seasonal product like crackers and candles and whatnot, lighting and all that. So these are a certain seasonal product, and they want a certain employee or a workers who are working hourly basis. And then that's why, you know, Advait and Vaishnavi, have you victim of, like during this pandemic situation, many employees, they suffer a lot because they was working in an unorganized sector, and there they though it is a compulsion on the government and the employer to provide all the benefit, this unorganized sector, they refuse to give a benefit under this scheme because they are not registered themselves under the government norms. Okay, so and they are finally, if they claim again for on behalf of their employee, what will happen? Because they have not registered themselves parallelly, if they have not registration, even the employee can't do a registration under this scheme. And then initially, when the first amendment was, if you're not having a registration and there is a time slap, you need to pay a penalty. And suppose in this case, many employer, they maybe government, they can easily identify these are a specific district wise also, it can be easily proved that these are a certain company, they have not gone for any registration under this scheme. Okay, so that's why many employees, they suffer a lot. No ESI benefit, no EPF benefits. So this is very critical, or what we can say, the economic wise also, for being a part of a organization, the employee, they have not received any financial support from the government because they are not registered, because the employer was not registered under the scheme. So that's why now the government, they have changed this certain functional under this scheme. You need to register, and then the employee size also they have reduced from 22, they have reduced till 10. Though you are having the less than 20 employee, you can go for registration under this scheme. Okay, so these are the 5 amendments under this scheme. Till that, it is very, very important to study what are the latest amendment under this scheme. And even from when it was established in 1948 to till date, we need to identify why according to the time and the external environment changes or external changes, why there is a need to change, because we want to remain in a stream. If not, it is very, very difficult to manage with the economic crisis. So parallel, that's why they have in a government, because this both the body, Employee Provident Fund and the ESI, they have a separate body, though functioning is monitored by the government. These are government agencies, so it is monitored by the government. But under that also, we already gone through like how the your director body and the medical other, there is a separate medical team or medical association, where the team of like 5 members from the company employer side and the 5 members from the company employee side will be the representative under this scheme. And 1 member from Rajya Sabha, 1 member from Lok Sabha will be a member under this the standing committee. There is a director, there is a chairman, there is a one person who is responsible for who is a bridge, we can say. And they are associated with this various committee, medical representative in that also. If there are because there is a maternity benefits, so it is a compulsion on the government to appoint one female medical practitioner having a highest degree like a MD and the wide experience of a practice. So these are certain norms under this scheme. It is very, very important to implement all those necessary changes which is suggested time to time by the government. It is compulsion on the employer to provide the benefit to the employee, because in both the scheme, the contribution from the employer pocket also and the employee pocket also. Okay. So if they are not making this awareness program for these different benefits under social security of employee, then they will, what we can say, it is difficult for an employee if they are having a certain financial crisis or some any issue related to economic and financial issues. So they definitely they will suffer a lot. But being a Indian or being a sensible Indian, I say it is a in duty of an employer to on behalf of their employee. It is a long-term planning. It is a long-term benefit. So they must be ready with the making certain awareness program, because new joining hai, first time. Suppose you people are joining recently after this year, semester. When you finish with the MBA, you definitely try to search a specific job, and it is the duty of the employer to inform all the benefit under the various scheme under the government norms to their employee. They can conduct any training program. They can organize a long during the induction and the orientation program also. They can suggest or they can introduce all these schemes which is monitored by the government to their employee. And they can during this awareness program, they can give a list of documentation. These are a certain documentation we need under this scheme. Okay, they just introduce about what are the benefits under this scheme, then how to go for the registration process, how to encash the benefit, then what are the different documentation you need to fulfill during, suppose you want funeral hair. So you need during the just to take a benefit. Now funeral benefit that employee could not get, his family member will be, because during the when you are doing a registration formality, you need to give a name of your nominees. So mostly you are suggesting a name of your spouse or some son or daughter. The kid is a nominee. So during your last journey also, the government, they are giving a near about more than 10,000 amount to the what you can say, the victim. And here your documentation proof is like, you need to, means the family member, they need to submit the death certificate of the employee. Okay, so these are a certain norms under this particular both the ES and EPF scheme. Are you getting, Vaishnavi and Advait? I have doubt whether Advait is listening to me or not, because he is like Advait, are you listening to me? Meanwhile, he has not attended many lectures. That's why I'm a big doubt. Advait, are you listening to me? Yes, no? Vaishnavi, any issue, any problem?